Arsenal 3, Brighton 0. It was a demolition. It was a smashing. It was comfortable for Liverpool. They were very, very good tonight in the Emirates FA Cup. Through to the 5th round. Mohamed Salah with a beautiful assist. Curtis Jones out of position, but brilliant tonight. And Szoboszlai, for me, again, the shining light in this Liverpool side. Brighton, I've got a few choice words for Brighton tonight, and we'll leave that for later in the show, but they were well and truly well beaten tonight. Well and truly well beaten tonight. Let's just have it right. Let's just have it right. Well beaten on every level. And as a Man United fan, I hate saying this, as a Man United fan, I don't want to praise Liverpool, but I have to because they were by far the better team. Szoboszlai impressive again as well. But Brighton annoyed me. And I'm not even going to wait for the choice words. I'm going to go to the choice words now. And I want to start, though, by saying that I'm taking nothing away here from Liverpool. Okay, so let me just start by saying, I'll repeat it again. I'm taking nothing away from Liverpool. I felt that you handled the Brighton press and pressure very, very well. They often start like a freight train, and they create openings against everybody. I don't think there's a team in the world they wouldn't create opportunities against with the way they overload, they create the numerical advantages, and how they play. So I'm taking nothing away from Liverpool, who deserved it tonight on every level. But there is a but here. Bigger than Kim Kardashian's after surgery. A massive but. Sorry, Lewis, but I had to say it. Why the hell are they resting their better players for this game? I'll be honest with you. I know it'll be about money. I know it'll be about the Premier League. But I had this horrible thought during the game today. And it's not really about Brighton, maybe. Maybe I'm using Brighton as a little bit of a scapegoat here. I love the FA Cup. Every FA Cup day is special to me. It takes me back to my childhood when we'd watch with my family. We'd go and watch the early rounds. You'd go and watch teams you didn't support. We'd love the draws. We'd love the big clashes, the giant killings. This competition is so beautiful to me. But I had this feeling during this game that it's dead. I feel the FA Cup is dead. Or at the very least, it's flatlining. Where Premier League survival and European qualification via the league because of the money is just now so much more important, which makes you reassess what's a good and bad season for a team if you indeed believe that. Now, it doesn't mean it's dead to me, but I feel like it's dead to most people. The group chats I'm in, no one's talking. The timeline is quiet. Listen, Anfield was sold out today. The Etihad's half empty, but the atmosphere is still a little down, a little drab. Is the FA Cup dead? Is the FA Cup dead? Doesn't mean you shouldn't celebrate winning it. I would. I'm not saying this because Man United are out of it. It isn't bitter in that way. I love this competition. Something's wrong. Maybe you feel it, maybe you don't. Let me know. It's kind of painful. As I said, I premised that all with none of this was about digging out Liverpool that I thought that were very, very good today. I really, really did. And I want to speak on Liverpool because I feel that there'll be a lot of, again, you will get this sort of inflation makes nobody go to games, Terry. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, Liverpool's full. Old Trafford, if they were playing Salford today, would have been full. But there we go. Or, it's not that, you know what it is? Inflation does stop some people going to games. But the difference is, and City fans just don't want to admit this, the difference is Liverpool could go right. Say things become so sparse for the working classes, they could only afford to go to 5 games a year. Each fan, all the match-going fans in the world could only afford 5 games a year each. Liverpool and Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea would still sell out their stadiums because a different group would come in after the 5 games and backfill. City will be finished after the first round of 5. And you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth, and there's no harm in that. You're a small club fan base wise, but you're a brilliant team with a great history of winning record. Recent history. You created history that all of us want and want to match and want to succeed, and we want to knock you down because you're brilliant. That isn't taken away by the fact that you can't sell your stadium out regularly. That doesn't take away your achievements at the end of the day. It's as simple as that. TNT having the FA Cup rights is not helping. Why? What's that got to... This notion that people don't go to games because the game's on TV is just a load of old nonsense. It's a load of old nonsense. Stadiums keep getting bigger, yet they keep getting sold out. I think it's... Do you know what? I do think it has something to do. I think it has something to do with what I said earlier about people not taking it seriously because maybe the clubs don't take it seriously. And this has been going on for a long time. And look, my club plays a part in this. Sir Alex didn't even enter it in the 99-2000 season because he wanted to focus on the Club World Cup. And I didn't agree with that then. I was a kid, but I didn't agree with it then. And I feel that, you might be able to pinpoint it back to that moment that it suddenly became less serious. And I can take that on the chin because I'm talking about the FA Cup. I don't care if my club's partly to blame. I think everybody's played a part in this. I think little things... I'm actually not against the replays being removed, but if things like players don't get cup tied anymore, if you get sent off in the Premier League, you can play in the FA Cup. There's all these rules that have kind of watered it down. The prize money, all the money in football and barely any prize money for it. I think it's a combination. What it needs Riyadh season. It needs an Elon Musk. It needs, and I use Elon Musk because of how rich he is. It needs someone who's very rich to sort of adopt it and go, right, there's going to be a massive prize pool at the end. So teams maybe take it a little bit more seriously. Only Welbeck and Matoma didn't start this game. No, they had Minter on the bench, Matoma, Ruta. These, for me, are better players than who started. They're starting their kit. For me, there was better players that could have started that game, in my personal opinion. Just looking at the bench now, Danny Welbeck, those guys should be starting it. And I didn't get why they didn't, but that is just me. Terry, you talk BS. You're 40-year-old Chelsea, not a big club. I'm not a Chelsea fan, you moron. But Chelsea have more fans globally than Man City. I guarantee you. Man United should test the theory. If Man United had a home game against Chelsea and said Chelsea fans can have as many tickets as they want, although their stadium's only 45,000, Chelsea fans would pretty much sell out Old Trafford. Man United, if you let us have unlimited tickets to any away game at any ground in England, we'd fill it. I guarantee you, City could not fill Old Trafford. Guarantee you couldn't fill it. Guarantee you couldn't. But there we go. On Liverpool, I want to speak a little bit on Liverpool tonight because I thought Liverpool were very, very good. And tonight was the Liverpool team that I've personally been not looking forward to seeing as a Man United fan, but I expected to see in large parts of this season. Cool, calm, collected, deadly, clinical, emphatic. Now, straight away, I know Liverpool supporters have had a torrid season. So there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of frustration, a lot of annoyance. I found recently reacting to Liverpool wins and talking to Liverpool supporters is a bit weird. And when I say weird, I mean it from the perspective that a lot of you have gone slot out and or don't really see a bright future with him as the manager. So the wins feel a little bit like a double-edged sword. But let's put all that aside for a moment and just assess the game. Drop your emotions, drop your personal feelings towards him and the future. Tonight was what I expected to see for large parts of the season. Now, Brighton, yes, created openings and opportunities, but Brighton will do that to anyone because of how they play, how they commit. But I really liked how Liverpool played tonight. I really, really did. Because from my point of view, and my perspective, I sort of felt as though I want to say this in the right way. It sort of felt to me like, sorry, I'm just checking something here. I thought I wrote the wrong. I was just checking how I labeled something, and I thought I wrote the wrong word. My dyslexia, I thought it kicked in. So, guys, in case you don't know, I have my form of dyslexia, say I say a word wrong. Say I have a little slip of the tongue and I say right now, let's say I call Arnie Slot. Let's say I call him Bob. Even though I know it ain't Bob and I correct myself, I'll keep calling him Bob for a period of time. It's hard for me to get the word out of my head. And I thought I did it there for a second. Maybe I did. Maybe I've said it, not written it down, and it just come back to me. But they create the openings and opportunities. But I liked how Liverpool played tonight. I liked how Liverpool didn't get flustered when they were being pressed. I liked how Liverpool didn't crumble when some of their lines were broke. I personally felt that from Liverpool was very, very good this evening. Szoboszlai is the first player I want to speak on because I think he's had a majestic season. And it's very easy with players to get dragged into conversations when they're scoring goals, especially when you're a player that isn't playing when you're in a position where having lots of goals isn't necessarily the most important thing. You can get really sidetracked. And Szoboszlai is a really hard guy to assess this year with statistics as well. And this is where stats let you down. Because if you go and look, for instance, on DataRimby, he's in the sort of top 88 percentile for like progressive passes. He's in the top 86 percentile for forward passes and pass completion. But like key passes are only in the 66 percentile. Possession one isn't particularly high. He's winning around 74% of his duels. He's in the 74 percentile for duels. His carrying is pretty good. The issue why it's hard to assess is because he's played a lot of the season in defensive roles. And of course, so he'll miss a number of games where he's not able to. So when you go and you watch him in a match and then you look at his stats and go, that doesn't make sense. Because when I watch him in games, he feels like he wins far more duels. He feels like he carries the ball a lot more. It feels like he's winning a lot more possession in the middle. But he's not doing all of that in midfield. So the numbers don't always come in the same way. And I think that sometimes he's in a right back role, so he's not doing as much passing in a game. He might not be doing as much pressing in a game. You know, he might do more carries in that role when he's getting done. But a lot of the time it isn't carrying the ball. It's a lot of running, but he's running without the ball. He's overlapping, he's inverting. And I think he's had a brilliant season. And tonight, I just thought that Szoboszlai was majestic. I felt that he's touch on the ball. And I want to talk about his passing tonight against Brighton, who press. Now, this is going to go under the radar. Nobody's going to talk about this. I guarantee you the TV companies ain't spoke about it. This is Brighton, one of the best pressing teams in the league. This wasn't a League One or a League Two team. Okay? 98% pass completion tonight. 98% of his passes were completed. He created 2 chances in the game, contributed defensively when needed, and scored an absolute banger. Now, the only element of the game you would argue takes it down a peg or two is he only had 1 touch in the box, and that was the shot that went in. But overall, I felt that his display was excellent. I really do. In the air, very strong as well tonight. And I thought Szoboszlai deserves a lot of credit. I think Curtis Jones, who was the midfielder that got played at right back today rather than Szoboszlai, I thought he was excellent as well. Defensively, very sound. Yes, he slipped, but that was a slip. That's not really a mistake. The ground went underneath him. Outside of that, I thought he was perfect. Scores a goal with a great and well-timed run and run into the box, taps it in. And I felt that goal was really important for Liverpool. I felt it was really important for Liverpool because of the pressure that they were under in the game. You know, I really did think that they were under a lot of pressure to win today because of what happened against City, to keep their season alive. And if they're going at half-time and they're not leading, maybe the anxiety in the stadium builds up. Maybe the subs come a bit earlier from Brighton and they're able to hurt Liverpool. So I thought he was very good. And the other guy I'm going to shout out tonight, because I can shout out lots of players, but the other guy I'm going to shout out tonight is Mohamed Salah. Because he's had a torrid season and he's been rightfully criticised. But you know what? There are times when you just got to say, I want to just look at a player for an individual game for a moment, rather than everything being an overarching comment, a full autopsy, a full breakdown of their season. That's jarring, it's boring, and I personally think it's killing football conversations. I don't remember, like you'd be with your boys and a game of football would be on and be like, Torres had a good game today. I'm going back when Fernando Torres was great today. Nobody go, yeah, but he didn't score in the last 3 games, did he? Maybe your mates did. Mine didn't. Maybe I've just got better friends than you. I don't know. Maybe your friends were like that, but I don't think they were. Or it might have been a comment where someone says, yeah, he didn't score the last 3 games, did he? And you will go, ha, 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 ha. And then you carry on talking football. But for me, today I thought he was excellent. I thought he gave the left back an absolutely torrid night. The pass for Szoboszlai's goal. I hear a lot of people talk about Mo Salah, and they sort of do this thing. He has no tech. He has no technique. He has no ability. He has no technical ability. No, he's not a ballet dancer. He's not a break dancer. He hasn't got great lines. He doesn't look good in the same way Viets looks really good. James Maddison on the eye test looks like a better football player than Mo Salah, but he isn't. And that touch today, that touch stroke pass was out of this world. The penalty, I saw some people challenging it online. Fouled. I want that penalty if it's my team. Yes, he arcs his back a little bit and falls down. Yes, he nudges the man off of him. But that for me was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. The guy's got hold of him with both his hands. He's pushing him off. And I think if you're allowed to grab him and it isn't a foul, he's allowed to push you off him. Very strong, buries his penalty. And from a Liverpool perspective now, they'll be hoping not just Mo Salah, but the Liverpool team in general gets this win today, goes to another level, maintains it. You know, the Newcastle win was very good and very, very, I think the Newcastle win was so important. They then had the setback, as we all know, against Manchester City, but a very good win away at Sunderland midweek, and then a very good win tonight. There's actually 4 wins in their last 5 games, and they did go through a really big period where they were barely winning. And I'm not suggesting that Slot's turned it round. I'm not suggesting that Liverpool are going to be, going to put a late title charge on. But it was only 3 or 4 games ago. I said, I can't see this Liverpool team making it into a Champions League position. And barring that City collapse, and I'm not saying right now that one swallow does a summer make, but if you actually look at the performances in 3 or 4 of the last few games, there does seem to be some light at the end of the tunnel now for Liverpool. But as ever, look, I'd love your views. I'd love to get your opinions on this in the comment section below. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing, please, people. Get that done now. We're going to be bringing on K-Mac and Sam very, very soon. Let's go to some of your comments that have come through here. Not all Liverpool supporters are slot out. Some of us realize how much change and squad building we've had. Love the run from Salah, vintage from him. No, I agree that you're not all slot out. I think a lot of people are, or a lot of people may not have said they're slot out, but they don't really see that bright of a future. So I think there's a combination there, Bird. And by the way, I'm very, very clear with my words. It is not all of you. Liverpool players probably are finally coming to terms with Jota's untimely passing. Can take a while for that type of thing. And I'm sure that has impacted some players this year. Liverpool can go far in the Champions League, Terry. If we face them, we definitely beat them home and away. You might do, but look, I'd said it after their last Champions League game that Liverpool can win it. And a few people kind of scoffed at the idea they could win the Champions League. They're not favourites, but they can. And I think that's an important distinction to make. I really do. Rio's goal was not offside. No, I agree. Yeah, listen, I think VAR has been bordering on genuinely, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't want to talk about this, but VAR has been bordering upon corruption. Bordering upon corruption this weekend. And some will go, Terry, but VAR is not in existence. VAR doesn't exist. They're not using it. What do you mean, corruption? Now, I'm not somebody that ever says that it's corrupt from the perspective and point of view that they all meet in a room and go, right, okay, today. Oh, the lid's on. Hang on. I'll turn it off. There's no ink. Today, what we're deciding is which team are we going to screw over this season? Arsenal got screwed over last year. Is it City or Man United's turn? We're going to go with Man United. Okay, so remember, try your best to make them lose games. I don't think it's corrupt from that perspective. I don't think it's corrupt because some powerful, wealthy figure has come down and said, listen, once they come down, I mean, drove down to the headquarters, not come down from the sky. That'd be a bit weird. And I don't think that anyone's turned up and gone, listen, there's 200 million pounds, there's 100 million pounds, there's 50 million pounds, there's 5 million pounds to you guys. Stop this team from winning the league. Or make sure you do everything you can to make this team win, or for this team to not make the Champions League, whatever the rationale is. I don't believe it's that type of corruption at all. I don't think that exists. I could be wrong. There could be individuals doing bets because that's happened in multiple leagues. So the idea that it's implausible that it's going on here is ridiculous, considering we found out about David Coote's betting habits. When I say corruption, though, what stood out to me today, and it wasn't just the Liverpool game with the offside, multiple games, the biggest one being Aston Villa versus Newcastle, but it's happened in lots of these ties. Crazy goals that were massively offside being given, goals that were onside not being given, crazy penalty decisions. If you've not seen the Newcastle game, Stonewall penalty on Lewis Hall, an even bigger penalty for a handball 3 or 4 yards inside the box. They gave the handball, but gave it 3 or 4 yards outside the box. That's with a fourth official, a linesman, and the referee looking at it. 2 linesmen, in fact. Between all 4 of them, how on God's green earth are they not giving that as a penalty? There was red card tackles that should have been given, and so on and so forth. And when I talk about the corruption, what it felt like to me is we need to make sure VAR stays in place. Now, this is where I'm going to go very conspiratorial here. All right, I'm going to go a little bit Candace Owens. I felt for a long time, you see the tech in the Champions League, you see the tech in other leagues, and you think, well, it's better than what we've got. How can we be the richest league in the world, the home of the birthplace of football, but yet this great tech that international tournaments have, the Champions League has, we've not got it. My view is there's a few friends of friends that own the tech that we currently use, and it's like, well, we can't, you know, we've done a 10-year deal on this contract now. We've done a 10-year contract with this tech company. It's worth this amount of money. We can't pull out of it. I'm not saying anyone's having their palms greased, but I think it's a little bit of, well, we're going to use my buddy's tech here. We're going to use my buddy's monitors. We're going to use this guy's replay machine. We're going to use this guy's van to sit in, right? I'm just being a bit jovial with it, but you get the point. But everybody wants it gone. But I don't think the PGMOL want it gone because I think it makes money. I haven't quite worked out how yet, but I think it makes money in terms of the money that gets put into the PGMOL to run VAR. I wonder if there's not some incentives somewhere along the way, you know? And by the way, I'm spitballing here. Get me a tinfoil hat, okay? Gotta say that for legal reasons, right? Speculation. I'm saying this is just in my mind here. This ain't really happening. It's not really happening. Just making it up. Pretend we're writing a movie script here. We're writing a movie script. PGMO, we're writing a movie script. This ain't real. This is for a film we're making. All right, everyone? We're making a film. Making a movie about it. A fictitious movie. Not fact. Fiction. VAR fiction. It's not real. Everyone got that? All right. Everyone's on board. Cool. Lobbying. So for me, I look at it and think, in this film that we're talking about, is it not plausible that VAR go PGMOL in the movie? In the movie. Remember, I've been spitballing this last 5 minutes, and it's about a film we're making. Right? Is it not plausible they go, right, we're making all this money because Joey supplies this and Sandra supplies that and Leroy supplies this and Jazz supplies that, Chet supplies this. Isn't it plausible that in this movie we could make it so that this person within PGMOL is getting a nice little bonus here? This person's getting a nice little bonus there. Miss Flossie's getting a nice little bonus there. So we need to keep VAR. Otherwise, the money stops rolling in. How do we keep it going? Well, what we'll do is we'll use the FA Cup weekend in the movie, not real life. This ain't real. I would never say this in real life, just in the movie. I would never, ever say they're corrupt in real life, ever. So that's not what I'm not saying they're corrupt. What I'm saying is in my movie, the fake PGMOL are corrupt. That's what I'm saying, okay? We all on board here, right? So in the fake movie, the real movie about the fake PGMOL, I'm not saying that, listen, I want to be really clear here. I'm not saying the PGMOL are corrupt and taking money. I'm just saying in the movie I'm writing, they are. That's not real. Okay, Howard? So imagine in the movie, not real life, they're having their palms greased and they go, right, everyone wants to get rid of VAR. We're going to lose our money. How do we keep it going? What do we do? I tell you what we do. FA Cup 4th round weekend, Valentine's Day, in the movie, not today, not actually today, everyone, in the movie, let's make some big mistakes. What do you mean make some big mistakes? I don't know until it happens, but imagine it's a bad leg-breaking tackle. Let's just give a booking. Really? Imagine there's a bad tackle and I pull out a yellow card and change my mind and put it back in my pocket and pull out a red. That'll get him talking. Oh, beautiful. I've got one for you. I've got one. How about we see a player offside by a mile? Obvious. Stevie Wonder sees it. But we give the goal. Remember, this didn't really happen. This is all in the movie I'm writing. This is not real life. I would never, ever, ever make these accusations in real life, ever. I want you to all know this. This ain't real. It's make-believe. I've got one. If somebody handballs it in the box, if they're within, say, 4 or 5 foot of the edge of the box, do you know what we do? What? No. Do you know what we do? What? I'm excited. Tell me. Do you know what we do? Fucking tell me. We'll give the handball. Yeah. But do you know what we'll do next? What? This is going to be amazing. You're going to love it. What is it? We'll give it outside the box by about 4 or 5 yards. We'll confuse everyone. This is, again, hypothetical. This is in the movie we're writing about corruption, not real life. This would never happen in real life. It's a movie. It's make-believe. You get my point here? What a great movie that would be. Remember, everything I've said is hypothetical. Everything I've said is about a film I've decided to write 9.5 minutes ago. But it's what I've said, right? This weekend has given me a great idea for a movie. Thank you, PGMOL, because my God, you're inspirational. I tell you, it's it was crazy tonight. Right, Sam's coming on, Rack's coming on, K-Mac coming on, Sam's coming on. Well, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, again, I haven't made these accusations. I'm just saying there were some mistakes made this weekend, but it's inspired an idea for a movie. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? The main character is going to be called Coward Pleb. Coward Pleb is the main character in this movie. Coward Pleb. There we go. Thought of that one right now. It's not. I'm not expressions. I can't do it like he does. But do you know what I'm saying? Right. Someone here says Arsenal derangement syndrome is rubbing off on him. If you haven't taken what I've said as a joke, you honestly have got. I know you don't have a. If you didn't see it as a joke, you've definitely not got a date tonight. There's no way. You haven't even been on one and got home, right? You haven't even got to a point where you've been on so many dates with her. You ain't nothing. You're obviously alone, but please go out. Please stop watching me and go out and make some friends. Grow up. Grow up. Sam is here. Rack's here. Sam's here. K-Mac is here. I was going to do individual calls, but I'm not now. How are we, gents? We all right?
Yeah, good. Good. Sounds like that movie's better than the Stranger Things ending.
Well, listen,
no spoilers.
I think it's one. You get those movies, those great films. They're normally American, like Aaron Brockovich. The dirty water. People get sick, and I could imagine it being one of those types of movies. Do you know what I'm saying? We just call it. Oh, I've got a great movie title: Web of Lies. Oh, be good, wouldn't it? That'd be good. Anyway, on to Liverpool. Sam, great performance tonight and great win.
Yeah, that was a professional performance. I can't lie, but it's more, I did expect it. And the reason why I did expect it is because we do not struggle against teams that play like Brighton. Because Brighton will give you a little bit of space and they play ball to the ground. I feel like I was more impressed with the Sunderland win because of the way that Sunderland play compared to this win. But it was a really good performance. Salah, he has been poor this season, but Salah was really good today. That touch to Szoboszlai was absolutely brilliant, and the strike from Szoboszlai was brilliant as well. The thing is that in the first 20 to 25 minutes, we were under pressure. Brighton were cutting us open. They were going through the middle quite easily, but we handled the pressure quite well. And then we played to our game, which again, as I was saying before, that we play better against teams play like that against Brighton. You can see in the Champions League, we play a lot better because teams will allow us space. They play ball to the ground. They don't sit back and just do long balls all the time. So it's a really good performance. But I'm gonna have to say this again with Slot. I expect this in the FA Cup because you went out of the League Cup. We're not doing as well in the league. We have to get top 5, really and truly. So we have to do well in the FA Cup or the Champions League. So there is pressure there, and that's why he came up with a strong lineup. Because listen, you can't get knocked out of the FA Cup. You didn't do well in the Premier League. So again, it's something that I expect of Liverpool this season, and because the season has been so poor, our standards have been lowered. But again, game in isolation, it was a very good performance by Liverpool today.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand how you'd feel on that one. Sam, how about yourself? Because obviously there's been a lot of criticism, yourself included, towards Liverpool, but good win and performance overall against Newcastle, Sunderland, and now, of course, Brighton. That's 3 good displays in your last 4 games. Could there be room for optimism that a corner's being turned?
The only reason why we didn't play well against City is the City pool connection. That's it. We had to let them win the league. Just joking. I'm just joking. I think today's performance was a very good performance. I actually enjoyed watching Liverpool play football today, which has been probably... It hasn't happened a lot this season, so I enjoyed watching the game. I think going forward, we were very good. We were very fluid in the attacks as well. I think Curtis Jones played a massive role in that. Szoboszlai coming back as well, who's been our best midfielder, our best player this whole season as well. So I think that made a massive impact. There's a reason why I defended Kerkez all season long, because I knew the player that was in there. I knew that it was just a matter of time before we get this version of Miros Kerkez, and this reminds me more of the Bournemouth performances, and it's not just because of the assists, because of his overall play as well. He's been very good overall for us. The way that he performed out there on the football pitch. I think Mo was incredible today. He did everything that the Liverpool fans been bitching about for the whole season, which is like the dribbling and the working hard and the tracking back. And he also got involved in the score sheet. Great touch for the Szoboszlai goal. And today was an important victory. I agree with Samuel. At the end of the day, we can't win the Premier League. We can only get top 5, which is what we want. of course, for the Champions League next season. But the FA Cup is a trophy we don't really win that much anyway. Like if you look back at our history, it's a trophy that we don't really win. Like, it's almost one every 10 years if you would like FA Cups. So it's not the Carabao Cup is more the domestic trophy that we win. I hope we get the easiest draw possible. I'm not like, oh, give me anyone. No, we're not in that stage. Give me like Mansfield at Anfield or Macclesfield or one of these shit teams. Yeah, we're not gonna do this whole I want to play the best. No, I don't. I want to play the easiest team possible. Give me the easiest run possible from now until Wembley, and we'll take it. But today was a great performance. The problem is the reason why, and there's something that I said last time, even after Sunderland, is this team has catfished us one too many times. Like I can't go like, oh yeah, let's build on this, and then I look at the fixture list and it's Nottingham Forest next, and I'm like, shit, like we haven't beaten Nottingham Forest in 2 years now. They're our bogey team as well. I hope we go and we beat them, but. Yeah, it's a fantastic win. Great performance, great vibes today. I loved watching Liverpool play football today. And hopefully we can do more of this. At the end of the day, Slot is staying from now until May. So I'm not going to sit up here and just go like Slot out every single stream. Khalas, everyone already knows I'm Slot out. But it's about this team performing, doing what we want them to do, which is play good football, exciting football, and hopefully get some wins on the board. So I'm very happy with this win. And I wait to see who we get in the next round.
Yeah, listen, I'm a bit like you, and when my team's in it, I want the easiest team possible rather than the hardest. As my team's out of it, I do want some of the big teams to play each other, because some of the games this round have just been a little drab. And by the way, whoever the easiest team is left in it, Man City are getting them at home, so don't get your hopes up. In the movie I'm writing, the next movie I'm writing is about how they warm up balls in the drawers, right? Remember, that's a movie. I'm making no accusations because I do keep getting legal letters from people. You can't say that. So now my lawyer just said to me, just say you're telling a joke.
Jolene Lescott is so picking out Manfield at home for Manchester City.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's going to happen. Rack, from your point of view, like obviously Sam and Hussam, very happy with how you performed, the way you played football tonight. Do you think that is more to do with maybe the way Brighton play? They allow you the space and the opportunities, or do you feel maybe that's discrediting what you did a little bit? How do you see it personally?
No, I mean, look, the purpose of a low block is to make things difficult for the attacking team. That's the nature of a low block. So it's always going to be more difficult. So it's no surprise that it has been more difficult for us. The problem's been that it's been even more difficult than we expected to, especially with the talent that we have up front. Brighton are a good team. They have a lot of good technical footballers who work hard. If you look at where Brighton came from and you look at their history, where they are in the league at the moment and where they've been for the last few years is absolutely exceptional. They're a really, really well-run team, similar to Brentford. Definitely punching above their weight. And anyone who takes them lightly is gonna pay the consequences. They're a good team. I think we dispatched them pretty convincingly today. And there've been several times this season where we haven't done that against other teams. Again, like we said the other day, I'm not going to get too excited just yet because, there've been false dawns and corners turned several times this season, and then we end up back at square one. So I think it's a good start. If you look at I'm not going to talk about runs of games. We actually have done okay in terms of results, but some of the team in recent games, but some of the teams are questionable. We have some not necessarily difficult fixtures, but potentially winnable fixtures. If we go 4 or 5 games winning on the bounce, I think a lot of us will be a lot more positive and optimistic. The problem has been you just can't trust this Liverpool team right now, or up until recently. And if this is if their corner has been turned, and we'll only know after the fact, then no one's going to be more happy than us. We have there are still big objectives to play for this season. Of course, Champions League football is an absolute must. But if we can pick up a Champions League football, and we're still in it, and you have to be in it to win it, we can beat anybody in our day. The Champions League is still there to play for. But the priority is to get the team playing well, be confident, and get some way back to how we were playing last season. if we get to that kind of level, or not, doesn't have to be to that exact level, because if we're only aiming for top 4, it doesn't have to be elite. But if we can get somewhere close to that, we'll get Champions League football, and then the sky's the limit. Who knows what happens for the rest of the season, the FA Cup and the Champions League.
I understand that. Came back quite a few people in the comments, and they are talking about Hussam, and this may apply to yourself, sort of saying that when you lose, everyone blames Slot. When you win, everybody praises how good the players are. Is there a lack of balance in that in that view? And I'm only asking the questions the viewers are asking here, so don't shoot me, but the viewers are asking that question, that it feels as though Slot doesn't get enough credit when you win, but gets almost all the blame when you lose.
It's probably because of it's probably because of the way he's took us through this season. It's really hard to kind of switch it back on and to go, oh yeah, the manager, when he's been so dreadful all season, like even what he says, what he does. Like, I was looking at the substitutes and I'm like, okay, you're going to make some subs now, and I'm like, Calvin Ramsey can't get on the pitch again. Like why not play your right back? Like, you've thrown him under the bus all season by saying he's not good enough. Now you're winning 3-0 and you don't bring him on. You did bring him on in the end, so I'm like, he's alive. But it's little too late, things like that. But look, he played a strong team tonight. Like, look, Brighton are Brighton. Brighton played a 17-year-old kid. Like, they played a 20-year-old on the other side. They played a lot of players all over the place. They played an 18-year-old up front or 19-year-old up front. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like, that was Brighton's reserves. Like, their bench was strong, and he brought them on really late in the game when he was like 2-0 down. So I'm not getting too ahead of myself. But what I really, really like today is I like the triangles, and I like the attacking patterns, and I like the fact that we had some threat going forward. And that all down to Dominic Szoboszlai being in a more advanced position. Mo Salah had a great game because Dom's there. Mo Salah had a great game because Curtis Jones was there. Kirkez played really well. He was throwing diagonals. Like, that's something I've not seen in his game at Liverpool. There was a lot of good stuff about Liverpool today. And there's one thing which I will mention, which you may go and hate me in the chat. Our midfield looks so much different going forward because we had Ryan Granvenberch out of it. Sorry. Like, he holds onto the ball too long, doesn't do enough with it. We had more flow and more positive going forward. We could have scored more goals. Like, I actually think that Rio's goal was onside. Like, if that was VAR,
yeah, he was offside.
would have been on.
He was.
That's kind of how it was today. But like all the others have said, like, we've got ahead of ourselves too many times, and then we felt the pain. Like, so I'm not doing it again. But look, we've got 8 days off now to rest, and hopefully the team gets back on the pitch again and performs well again. And the defense was brilliant again today. Like Virgil and
the thing is with the Slot conversation, though. Here's the thing with the Slot conversation. We're not gonna come back here on every stream, and when Liverpool win, Slot out, and when Liverpool win, Slot in. This is not how this goes. Overall, we have failed this season, because the reason why Liverpool spent 450 million is to retain the Premier League and be able to compete and win the Champions League. That's the truth. It's not acceptable to be below Man United, below Chelsea, below Aston Villa. Okay, even if you can't win the league, at least finish in third place. At least, be where Villa is. So that's the thing. So we're not going to come up here every time and just, slot. Khalas. We're all like, other than Rax, we are all slot out, but we know he's going to stay until May. We will criticize him when need be. Also, the chat is lying because we don't criticize Slot every single time as well. Like the Burnley game as an example, I didn't criticize Slot. I said it's on the players. They should have taken their chances. We had so many chances against Burnley and we missed them. There are wins where I criticize Slot, and there are losses where I criticize players. There are individual errors. There are players that have let us down multiple times. So it's not just a conversation about the manager. This is a complete lie. We have criticized a lot of players a lot of the time. And in terms of credit for today's performance, we have given him credit for today's performance. I mean, we said it's enjoyable. We played really well. We said we were incredible going forward. Like, no one is denying the credit that he deserves for today, and we've given him credit for today. So no one's denying that at all. But we're not going to come up here and like every time we win, okay, guys, keep Slot, and every time we lose, guys, sack Slot. That's not how this goes, bro. Like, we've criticized players and the manager when need be. That's it.
The only thing I would say, Hussam, is that I think there are people who micro-analyze everything Slot says and does, and is there and look for criticism and everything. And you can do that. I just don't really see the point in it because, like you said, I think unless we have a collapse, he's probably going to be there till the end of the season. And then whatever happens, happens. Ultimately, whether he goes or whether he stays, we're all going to be here next season. But when people when he says something in a press conference, and I'm pretty sure he didn't, for example, the other day he said something about Konate and people jump on it. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean it as criticism necessarily. He just said what we all know. We know that there have been a couple of occasions this season, on a few occasions this season, where Konate has cost us. And I don't think I'm trying to look at it in the most positive way. I don't think he meant it as in a negative sense. But people jumping on it saying this is terrible management, this is this is that. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you can have that opinion, but we don't really know because that's 2 seconds of a press conference when he's with these players all day, every day, and this is just the snippets that we see. There's been a breakdown of the situation with Mo Salah.
Yeah, but I don't even react to his press conferences. But I'm not talking about you. I'm not specifically. I'm just saying. But it's not that. I'm the wrong person to say this. So I don't even remember the last time I sat there and I watched the press conference. The last press conference I watched was Inter Milan after the drama with Leeds. That was the only one.
But what I'm saying is that I was pivoting off what you were saying. The point is that ultimately he's going to be here, and you don't have to be massively slotted. Ultimately, we whatever happens, we're going to be there next season as Liverpool fans. And I think it's unnecessary to micro criticize him for every little thing that he says.
By reverse, Rax, this is something you've probably seen. There's people who micro criticize everything Mo does. So now,
absolutely, of course.
He made a wrong pass in the 57th minute, and that is the reason why we lost the game.
This is why that kind of stuff is crazy because Slot, we see Slot and we see the players for a relatively small portion of the time that they're either on the pitch or on a press conference or whatever, and we microanalyze these things. And we have no idea what that's true. Oh, well, I look back to last season and we had Trent coming out and Mo coming out and all these people coming out and praising Slot for the stuff that we did. And we did the same. So I'm just like, whatever it is. Let's do as much as we can for the rest of the season. Let's win. I don't that kind of stuff I don't really like too much, to be honest.
I think
for me, I don't really want to talk about him anymore. After game.
Yeah.
I just don't, because I mean, the substitutes didn't win us the game or anything like that. So I'm not really saying that he was inspired in that, because we were home and hosed before he even made a sub. So it's look, he played the team. He dropped Granvenberch. That must have been difficult for him, to do that. But it was the right thing to do because Szoboszlai was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. He was everywhere. And he also played right back as well. Him and Jones rotated. It was really fluid. It looked so good. And it helped Mo so much in that game. It's weird, isn't it, that Mo has probably one of his best games because he's got people around him that make that triangle, that make that run for him, that give him that support.
It's almost what's that thing I'm looking at? It's almost like it's a team sport.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It's one of those weird things that when you have the right structure around you, all players look, there's a handful of individuals that look good no matter what's going on. Oh, he's a system player. Yeah, I always find that to be one of the weirdest colloquial terms about football, that certain players are system players now. We're pretending that we didn't see Lampard and Gerrard and Scholes go from being typically brilliant at their club teams to going into an England team, and because and not looking as good because the team was imbalanced and maybe the wrong squad was being picked and players, etc. I do want to ask you guys on something that I think is a bit more positive, though. Szoboszlai, another Sam, another top performance, another classy goal. I think that's 10 goals for the season now that he scored for you guys, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop soon.
Yeah, I think Szoboszlai has been our best player this season, full stop. Not just our best midfielder. If I'm to give the award for Liverpool player this season, he wins it unanimously. There is no credit to Ekitike and a couple of players here and there, but Szoboszlai has been the consistent performer from the start of the season. Fantastic finish. He gave us the energy around Mo and the runners that we need as well. He gave the energy in midfield. He gave the support to Curtis Jones when need be. he's a complete midfielder for us. You know what K-Mac said about Granvenberch is true, because in my opinion, Granvenberch is our worst midfielder on the ball, just purely on the ball, nothing else, just on the ball. He's probably our weakest one. And today, you know, we had the three midfielders who are willing to let the ball go quickly, who are immediately like very good passers. And Szoboszlai has been performing really well, despite us having an absolutely horrendous season. And this is why, as an example, he's been linked to a Real Madrid move recently. Like he's shining right now for Liverpool Football Club, and he's been cooking, to be honest. And the other guy I want to give credit to as well is Alexis McAllister, another one that 3/4 of the fan base decided they want to sell, not me. Today, Alexis McAllister was involved in 19 ground duels. Yes, he only won 11 or 12 of them, but the fact that he's willing to get involved into 19 tackles against a very physical, strong Brighton midfield shows me that the guy is willing to fight. By the way, the same thing happened against Sunderland. Me and K-Mac spoke about this yesterday. He had like 12 contested duels against Sunderland. He won 8 of them. So he's getting involved defensively. And, you know, long may this continue with Dominic Szoboszlai. I think he's definitely making the conversations surrounding Liverpool's midfield a lot more interesting, because the fan base will either have to look at a midfield without McAllister or without Granvenberch or without either of them for next season, if we do get in a new manager. So that's just the truth.
The numbers on Dom as well, like, are insane, because like he's played at right back for a lot of the games, and his numbers are insane. Like, what a player! What a player!
I was going to quickly say, just on the Granvenberch take, I actually don't agree with the Granvenberch take. I think Granvenberch is really good, and if he played this game, we would have still won, because of the amount of space that he would have had with Brighton. I mean, we played Brighton earlier in the season. We beat them 2-0. Granvenberch started, so, and he played quite good. So it depends on the team that you're playing against. But the whole thing on Szoboszlai, Szoboszlai has been our best player even when we were playing rubbish. Like, we were losing game after game after game. He was the only bright spark that was shining, especially with that midfield, or if he was playing right back. I remember a time where it was like, there were some people, not me, but there were some people that were saying that he should be our right back right now. Especially when we played Arsenal at Anfield. But he's the type of player that you want. He's the type of player that gets around the field. His energy is brilliant. His shot, his striking of the ball is near perfection. Near perfection. His striking of the ball is near perfection. And when you have a weapon like that, it's always a threat. And he's also a moments player as well. You've seen it against Arsenal. You've seen it against Man City, even though we lost. But those moments that he can create from free kicks or just from outside the box can really help you. And I also do think he will be very helpful to us in the Champions League, because most of all, the Champions League in the knockout stages is about moments. Do you have the moments players to take you through the rounds and get you to the final? So he's one of those guys that they're moments players. And this is why when a lot of people were complaining about Szoboszlai last season, I was a little bit confused about it, because in the run that we had from November to January, Szoboszlai was actually our best player alongside Mo Salah. And when Mo Salah was playing well, Szoboszlai was playing well. And he helped us really to win that league with that period. So he's actually stepped it up this season. He's really stepped it up this season. I can see him as a future captain if he stays. The way he it's more of like, I take the lead by the way I play and everyone follow behind me. He's more that kind of like that guy. But yeah, no, I'm just really proud of Szoboszlai that he stepped it up this season, even though the team in general hasn't really been playing well this season, and we have failed expectations. As we said, we want to retain the Premier League, but listen, we're not going to do that. So yeah, but again, he's a moments player, and we really need him, especially for that Champions League.
You know, Terry, this whole Champions League stuff, despite us being slot out, you can still look at like the Champions League in a different lens, in my opinion, because the Champions League Sam is so spot on. It is legit won in moments. You don't have to be elite to win the Champions League. you have to have elite moments, elite defensive moments, elite offensive moments. There are matchups for Liverpool in the Champions League. I think we would get abused. Like Bayern Munich would abuse us. We need to avoid them at all cost. Barcelona, in my opinion, if they go 1-0 up, we are completely fucked. And the same thing with PSG. I actually don't mind any of the English teams barring Man City, because I think Rax pointed this out, I think 2 episodes ago, where he said our record against the English teams in the Champions League is actually quite good. We actually have a good record against them. So
any English team that
I don't mind anything.
we beat them.
Chelsea are assholes. They always like to spoil a party. So I'm 50-50 on them. But with Matisse in charge, I would back us. So for me, it's about styles make fights. It's just about that in the Champions League. If we avoid certain teams and you get to the final, you never know. I mean, Inter Milan got to the final last season, with all due respect. So you never know. Acerbi scored a goal against Barcelona. So yeah.
What I will mention though is and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this does seem to happen on a regular basis this season. Like, we have a game where a group of players all click and you think, wow, we can really take that somewhere. And he breaks it up.
And then yeah.
And I feel like that's about to happen. And that's probably why I'm not as chirpy as I usually am. No,
I do hear that, and I think that's for some people. There's a reality behind that mustn't be ignored. And look, I thought you were really, really good today, but I'm in the same camp as you guys. I wouldn't get carried away, because you don't. And it's not about you getting carried away will hurt Liverpool. I don't look at it in the same breath as I do with Arsenal fans right now that are really projecting a crazy amount of panic. I don't think what you're doing hurts your club. Yeah, but I think for you guys, it's more about not wanting to get your own hopes up and dash them. Because one of the reasons those Arsenal fans are panicking is, forget the Arteta outers that aren't panicking, they're enjoying it. It's the Arsenal fans who thought the league would be done by now, which is crazy. It's February. They thought it'd be easy. They're the ones who seem to be panicking because they predicted it wrong. And sometimes you're better off not getting too far ahead of yourself. If you ever walked out of a job interview and go, I've got that job, I nailed it, what a great interview. 9 times out of 10, you don't get those jobs. Often it's the ones where you go, I'm not too sure, that was really difficult. That's a lot of questions that I didn't quite understand, or I don't know if I answered them right. I've always tended in my life to have done better in that scenario. So I understand sometimes, and plus sometimes I feel like when you get a bit too confident, I'm very superstitious. So I feel like the football gods or whatever it may be, I feel like you get a little bit of humbleness thrown your way. But look, you were really great tonight. I think you deserve the win. There's no doubt about that. There is a long way to go. Boys, I want to thank you all very much for coming on. I do. I think I might have missed a super chat here. It says, stop the bedwetters, slot in, is what Whitney Lee says here. Must be you. Must be calling you lot the bedwetters, the slot outers. I don't know if that's saying that.
I don't want Wrexham. I think they're a mad team. I do not want to play them.
Oh, yeah, see, that's the kind of game I'd like. I'd like a Liverpool or a City or a Chelsea or an Arsenal, one of the big teams that are left in it. Arsenal have got to get through first, but I think they will tomorrow. I'd like to see one of you guys away at Wrexham. That'd be a great game with their sort of resurgence in the game. Yeah, that'd be a great one. I think it'd be a great one. So, boys, I want to thank you all.
Now, aren't we?
100%. I want to thank you all for coming on. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo's channel, so please go and support my friend over there whilst he's live. Let him know where you've come from. We're back tomorrow. I don't know what content I'm going to do in the morning, because FA Cup weekends always feel a bit drab. I need something to happen. Someone's got to do something. Hopefully a football player gets arrested or something. I don't know. Something we can all, for nothing crazy, just so we can have a chat about it. That's another joke. It's a movie I'm writing. It's for a movie I'm writing. It's not real. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.